Welcome to Henry's Chatterbox. This is episode 27. Today's date is May 15th, 2026. Henry's Chatterbox comes to you from an outside building in my yard in Newport Richey, Florida. We, excuse me, we talk about life politics. We talk about life politics. We do not. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. We talk about life topics. We do not talk about politics. We are not professionals. We just have clean, wholesome chat. We discuss a specific topic every episode. My name is Henry Berner. As always, with me, we have Randy. And let's get started. Last episode a week ago was about lies. We're going to continue with that today. But first, Randy's going to do an advertisement. But be aware, the advertisement you are about to hear does not necessarily express the personal views and or opinions of members of this podcast. Randy?
Alright, first ad is going to be for Henry Berner's Skit Trivia book, which is available at www.amazon.com/author/Henry Berner. You can get Skit Trivia from, it's just a memory game book that's used to read scripts. Great for bars, drinking games, and memory games. And get it out on Amazon. That's Henry Berner, spelled HenryBerner. Next we have Mew Mew. Ever feel like the phone is listening to everything you say? That's because big tech treats every user's life like a corporate paycheck. It's time to stop the product. Millions are making a move to Mew Mew, a safe place for communities to share their real opinions. It's time to take back control of the time you spend online. On Mew Mew, you are not the product. Mew Mew puts your privacy first. It's a safe place we've been waiting for. No creepy tracking and no manipulated feeds. It's just a place for actual communities to share real opinions and find their tribe without a bot breathing down their neck. If you want to connect with new people and communities, check out MewWe, the safe space where the world meets. You get MewWe, I guess, on the App Store. So there you go. Also, our last and final app is for W's Energy. You can get W's Energy at w.dg.com. It's great for gamers, people who work outside, people who do extreme sports, actors, you name it. If you use the code Randolph Small, spelled RANDOLPHSMALL, the R and S are capitalized, you'll get 10% off your order.
So you're done?
Yep.
Oh, but I can't do it. Yeah, but okay. Okay, lies. Have you ever told one? If you say you never told a lie, you're probably lying. A lie, according to one of the definitions I read, was kind of interesting. It's according to one definition, it said for it to be a lie, you have to have the intentions to deceive or mislead someone. Like a metaphor is not a lie when you say, "Oh, I was so hungry I could eat a horse." Well, technically, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, you're lying. You wouldn't even consider eating a horse. But you're not really trying to deceive anyone. I died last night. Oh my gosh, I was so tired when I got home. I got in the bed and I just died. Well, if you died, how are you here talking to me? You're lying. Under another definition, you're not lying because it's a metaphor. And you're not really trying to deceive the person. Another one people have said, I can remember my mom said this before, the fog was so thick you could cut it with a knife, and or I was scared to death, closed the barn door after the horse got out. A lot of them. But anyway, moving on, the Ten Commandments. One of the commandments is thou shalt not lie, and another one is there should not bear false witness. And I don't understand this one. I thought that not lying would cover the false witness. So if anyone understands that better and would care to explain it to me, email me at henryverner@yahoo.com. I'd really like a better understanding of that. Um, and now I put the lies. Lies are kind of interesting. And, so hard. I think people want the truth. We want the truth. I think we do anyway. Although there's been some things that I'd rather not been told. Let's see, the outline. I outlined it to one, two, three, four, five things. Helpful lies, and this is just my opinion. Let me start over. Helpful lies, harmless lies, dangerous lies, and terrible big lies, and forbidden lies. Okay, let me start out with one of five helpful lies. I used to work with Alzheimer's residents, and we were taught if a resident was really upset because they thought their husband, what happened to my husband, he should have been home hours ago, I'm terrified. When in fact their husband died 20 years ago. When they have Alzheimer's, they don't remember it. And a helpful lie in that would be to just tell the person, I tell them a little, I think they used to call white lies. You don't need to tell that person, oh, Miss Jones, don't you remember your husband died 20 years ago? No, that's not a good thing. You might say something like, Miss Jones, I forgot to tell you he called and he said he was running late for you to go ahead and eat and go to bed and see you in the morning. And then that resident, well, oh, thank you, I feel so much better. And they go to bed and sleep like a baby. But so in that case, in my opinion, I think that's a helpful lie. A false compliment. If somebody asks you how they did or how they look in something they're wearing, or if they did a terrible job at something and you don't want to get in an argument, say, oh no, you done fine, you look nice. No, that dress does not make you look fat. You're thinking to yourself, is all that food you eat that makes you look fat? If that's, or dinner was good when it was terrible. Um, I think we all tell little lies sometimes. If it wasn't, that's just, I think there are some helpful lies. That doesn't justify them. The Bible still, one of the commandments is don't lie. But, this is my opinion. I think some of them are helpful. Let's see. Harmless lies. Wait, what did I do? Well, helpful, harmless lies. Have you ever seen somebody that they tell a little fib? They might call it a fib or a lie. That's not true, but it doesn't really hurt anything. And I jotted down a few of them here. One of them might be someone say, oh, I exercise every day. Or I graduated at the top of my class. I made this decision, made this delicious dinner, and it was really takeout. But now I'll say that a lot of times, but I don't know if that would really be considered a lie or not when I go to buy some takeout food and bring it home and tell my friends, oh, I made this, it's got to be good. I'm not really trying to deceive them. They know I'm joking, and I know that they know I'm joking. So I'm not sure if that's really a lie or not. But it's harmless. And I've heard people say the teacher in my school said I was the smartest student she ever had. You have no way of fact checking. Oh, really? And let it go with that. Now moving on. That was two. We got three to go. The third one, dangerous lies. And I think dangerous lies are dangerous. One of them, and I only listed two. I couldn't, but I'm sure there's probably hundreds of them out there. One of them is falsely recommending a person as being good. And I actually had this done to me years ago. I had a little hauling business and financial problems. And my pickup truck, there was a big major mechanical problem with it. Well, a friend of mine, his cousin had just recently moved in with him and we became friends. And he wanted to fix my truck. And he claimed to be a good mechanic. So I went to my friend and said, "Look, how is he as a mechanic? He wants to work on my truck, but does he know what he's doing?" And my friend said, "Henry, he's excellent. He is an excellent mechanic. He tears engines apart and puts them together with his eyes closed." Of course, that's a metaphor. Anyway, so I let him go to work on my truck. He tore it to pieces, didn't know what in the world he was doing. When I kind of confronted my friend, I said, "Why did you tell me he was a good mechanic?" He said, "Well, he asked me to, and I just figured he maybe was. He told me he was." So that's a dangerous lie. And another dangerous lie is if you know someone that's trying to sell a car and you know the car's got a lot of problems with it, but they're telling a prospective buyer that it's a good running car and everything. And there's not a thing, that car runs beautiful. I wouldn't be afraid to drive it from here to California and back when in their lie. And that's, to me, that's a dangerous lie. So I think there's some things, even if you do lie comfortably, there's some things you gotta draw the line on and don't lie. Okay, that was my dangerous lie. Let's see where we at here. One, dangerous lies. Got two more. Next one is terrible lies. And I think, and this is just my opinion, I think that if a child is adopted, I don't think they should be lied to. You know, and in my lifetime, I've seen people do this both ways. Tell the child, "Hey, we just want you to know we're not your biological parents, but we did raise you and we loved you." I think that's good. I don't think it's good when people say, "Well, I never want that. I never want little Johnny to know that we're not his real parents." Well, you if you raise them, you're their real parents. You're just not their biological parents. But who cares? But I think that that child deserves some honesty. People like the truth. Um, uh, and here's another one I jotted down, and I actually witnessed this. Um, I years ago, there was a patient. I knew the family. There was a patient, and I knew the daughter. And the daughter wanted to have a different doctor, another doctor for her mother. And but this doctor had a rule. Her mother was dying, but her mother didn't know it. And this doctor had a rule to be honest with his patients. And she went to him and said, "Look, I want you to be my mom's doctor, but I don't want her to know she's dying." And he said, "Then I won't be her doctor. If I'm going to be her doctor, I will tell her." And so she did finally agree, okay. And they went and told her, said, "Look, here, you've got about 6 months left, da 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 da." And that's deceiving someone when I really believe that when a person is terminal and ready for hospice care and they're dying, I think it's wrong to go and tell them, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. You're going to be fine. They're going to do this surgery in 6 months and you'll be like a new person." When in fact, they're going to pass away within 6 months. Just my opinion, might be a good time to mention again, we are not professionals. we're just talking. And can you bring it up? Okay, that's good. No, you went to it's a good card. Terrible Lies, Forbidden Lies. That's the last one I got in my little outline here. Forbidden Lies. There are some things I do not think absolutely positively you should not lie about. And one of them is covering for someone. And what I mean by that, say you have some good friends, and it's a husband and wife, and the husband and wife gets in a big argument, and the husband comes to your house and says, me and my wife is arguing, we're fighting, and I told her off, and then I got mad and got in the car and left. I come over to your house, and then your phone rings, and you look and say, "Oh my gosh, it's your wife calling me," and your friend says, "Don't tell her I'm here." My answer to that would be no. I'm not going to tell her you're not here when you're here, because one, I don't think she deserves to be lied to. Whatever y'all's arguing about, and two, when y'all get back together and make up, you're both going to be mad at me for lying. So I answer the phone and I say, he's here, but he told me to tell you he ain't here. He's mad at you. And now that's the truth. Y'all remember that there was Yeehaw or some
There are
show.
some cases where you do got to tell persons that they're not there despite the fact they're there. Like
Well,
there's a restraining order against the person or something like that.
Right, that would make sense. Yeah, I guess there would be exceptions.
Or the person's a psychotic maniac who would try to hurt that person. They can get there and they've done that at your house before. And like, no, they're not here. You might want to try somewhere else.
Yeah, well, and that Randy brings up a good point. You maybe don't want to, if it's going to be dangerous or if it's going to be safe to tell a lie. Look, I don't know where she's at, or so I understand that, and I agree with that.
I've had to do that for a few people.
And another thing, I got two more things under the Forbidden Lies. That one and when a pet dies, telling children. I think when a pet passes away, to me, and this is just my opinion, it's a good idea to use that opportunity to explain some things to the child. Not make up a fictional thing to tell them they're going to grow up and do goodbye to them anyway. And here's my last one on the forbidden food. It's something that irritates the crap out of me, and that's lying about food. Don't tell me there's no onions in it if there is onions in it. And don't fry a piece of liver and tell me it's steak. And sometimes people do that, and I want to know what I'm eating. And I think it's wrong to try to trick somebody into eating something because they thought it was something else. Like, well, you didn't know. And one of my big things, and I won't do this, one of my big things is I like the ground turkey versus ground beef. And I just prefer the turkey. And but somebody said, well, you could make other things out of turkey, and people never know the difference. Yeah, they would. You can taste it. I think so anyway. So I don't think you should lie to people about what they're eating. Be honest. The truth is what we want. And I think moving on down, I hate it when somebody gets caught in a lie, and to get out of it, they say, "Well, I was just joking when I said that." You believed me? Yeah, I believed you when you told it to me as the truth. And speaking of practical jokes, You know, when you maybe tell someone something and you really are just joking,
And they actually believe you.
and they actually
That just
believe
means that
you.
person's just. I don't want to offend nobody, but that just means that person's just too stupid not to know it's a joke.
Well, I think it depends on what it is. And I think there's some things you should not joke about. We'll do. Why don't we do our next segment on that? Practical jokes. We didn't do one. Um, but you know, some things. If a person tells you something and they're just joking, like I won the lottery last night and I'm leaving town.
Like,
If I said that, you'd know right away I was joking.
I told somebody once that I had $1,000 bill from 1912. Right? They thought I was joking. Thought I was lying.
Oh,
I turned around and literally showed up like $3,000 bill from 1912 to the Department of United States Treasury and God we trust. It was a legal tender, 100% legal tender made in 1912. The person did not believe they made them. They thought I was joking. I was lying. There are sometimes where the truth may sound. There are sometimes where truth sounds stranger than fiction.
You're right. And an example.
How many people knew that there was $500 bills, $1,000 bills, $5,000 bills, $10,000 bills in the 1920s? How many people know that?
Right.
Not many.
And another example of that would be when your mom told me the other day. I was saying something about when I may make a trip to Ohio and I might take a Greyhound bus, but I said I'm having trouble finding out where to get the tickets at and find out. And she told me go to 7-Eleven. I go 7-Eleven, and I guess from what
people have
what people have told me, you can order online and go to 7-Eleven and pick your ticket. So I really flipped me out. Compulsive liars. We're almost finished. Compulsive liars. There's several causes for someone to be a compulsive liar, according to what I read on the internet. Can be from childhood trauma, anxiety, and more. Coping with compulsive liars involves the following: staying calm, setting boundaries, and managing your emotional responses while understanding their behavior is often a coping mechanism. If you have trouble with someone that's might be a compulsive liar, because it could be so irritating. I've ran across a couple of them in my life. But if you need help coping with that, research it on the internet. And we are going to finish with the Lord's Prayer. And my gosh,
flip it over.
Oh, there it is there. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to hit
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe and share and what he just said. And so now you know what to do. Just do it. Can you get by?
Yeah, my fat ass can get by.